quick note before today's episode. If you have any sensitivity to like chewing of any kind, my gorgeous, perfect dog is pretty loudly chewing a bone throughout this solo ep. Just know that if you're curious what that rough and tumble sound is, perfect animal that lives with me enjoying her nightly marrow bone. Enjoy it. Bye. When I was 16, my oldest brother wrote me a letter. In it, there was a sentence that read, "Pain is a chance to be wiser, although I don't know if it's a fair trade." It always stuck with me. And also, what if it is a fair trade? Not just the pain, but the wisdom earned through any big feeling or circumstance we navigate as we move through this life. What if that's the whole point? My belief, take it or leave it, is that we're infinite souls having a human experience. That we come here and many other places to expand our consciousness, learn, and grow. I think that maybe our lives, the very miraculous experience of consciousness itself, is all a chance to be wiser. These conversations and, well, monologues are the reflections of the triumphs, struggles, creations, and wisdom we receive and wonder about along the way. This is a chance to be wiser. I'm Blair, and I'm so glad you're here. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Who cares? You don't have context for that. Okay, I'm showing up here today to talk about when the past feels really present. The past is coming up like in a visceral way, not a ruminating way. In case anyone resonates, I wanted to share a huge part of my healing and coming back to myself feels like processing things from the past that I didn't have the capacity for during the time that's coming to me now to be processed and felt. And it's almost like the more I'm coming back to myself and out of situations I should not have ever been in, I have this further capacity. And my hunch is that in a year from now, maybe sooner than that, I will have clarity on these very visceral feelings I'm having just about situations and people from the past, and just like realizing things, good and bad, I couldn't see at the time, and that's trippy. I really can't emphasize enough the vulnerability of like almost truly having new eyeballs and a brain, new brain and eyeballs. When you get out of situations you shouldn't have been in and heal. And it's so trippy, even as an intuitive person, to discern and parse out what is past processing and current sensing and feeling, because it feels crazy similar. And maybe it's just this heightened energy we're in, and like all these opportunities and things piling on top of each other and causing confusion. But if you've ever been in an extremely low and prolonged low place in your life, I'm talking years, like 5+ years of being in places and spaces and feelings and situations that weren't for you in your highest, and then you get out and you're like remembering yourself and experiencing so much more expansion. I just have found it so vulnerable what becomes crystal clear. And a lot of that includes things that should have been so obvious from the past, good and bad, that just weren't. Because when you're not in the right places and spaces, and you're not surrounded or surrounding yourself with the best people and energy, you don't have the capacity for discernment, there's not the space. You're distorted by your deepest wounds that have gotten you into the situation you're in. And then when you heal that wound, it is like literally looking out from a new body, a new mind. It's really trippy. And it's the depth of feeling I'm experiencing, I am working on reframing as exciting, because I've always been a deep feeler, and I think so much beauty comes from deep feeling. But it's cooler than ever because I'm recognizing the opportunity for creation and creativity, and that how that's always how we should be processing these things, whether the world ever sees it or not. And I've always written songs since I was little. It's like my deepest secret, which is so interesting. It's like, why have I always kept that a secret? I had my best friend, her family gave me their little like just tabletop keyboard. Every time I was home alone, I would like get out GarageBand and the little webcam at my dad's and like record myself writing songs. And like I was horrible at piano, but whatever I could just like crank out I would. And it's always been how I've processed. I had like this little journal of songs I've written since, I don't know, probably 5th grade. Maybe it's the times we're in, maybe it's the time I'm in my life. Life is way too short. And I saw this brilliant thing on Instagram last night. This woman wrote, "You don't have a creative block, you have a lack of courage." Like, you know the thing you want to create, you just don't have the courage to create it and share it. Like, that has been so true for me. And I don't know why. It's so vulnerable and embarrassing. And like, it reminds me of that Medium Build lyric, In Balance, where he's like, something like, why is trying so hard? And like, how that lands for me is just, it's so vulnerable to try, to admit you're trying, to like love something like songwriting and have to be kind of bad at it and learn and confront it. And it's just not that serious. Like, I'm not trying to be brutal, but I watched my dad die. I lost my grandmother, who was like one of the most important people in the world to me. I have lost relationships that I completely misunderstood and weren't for me. I have lost an organ in the last year. I've moved and created new friends and community, and I did that by myself and with the help of friends who love me and family that loves me. And I don't know, my hot take is just that like this whole thing here is really short. Like, I think like mind-blowingly short. And I know we have days that are so brutal and hard, and being a human in this realm I don't think is any small thing. I think it's the ultimate school and can be so heavy, and it can also be so beautiful. And I think for good reason, and maybe intentionally, we're made to feel like it's just so serious and daunting. And, you know, even one of like these past things I was realizing I was vulnerably talking through with a friend, and it kind of like set us off on this larger conversation, and things that feel complicated that we shut down because it's like, well, no, that's not possible because that's a mess and XYZ. And she was just offering like, but is it that crazy? Like, is it that out there? Like, what if it's not? Like, we really decide, for lack of a better word, these rules that like, it's so cheesy and overused, but the truth is, on your deathbed, would like those details matter? On your deathbed, would that matter if like, if the other side of this is like the most important, best thing you're ever supposed to do for you and your creativity in the world and another person, that affects the collective. our most coherent connection to God and the divine and our highest expression that does serve the world. The more we can harness our own harmony and love and then like extend that to others because we found it, and share it with them and be an example that it's possible. I mean, especially if like, not to be whatever, like you're safe and have a roof over your head and a gorgeous clean bed to sleep in and food to eat and a dog loudly chewing a bone at your feet. Like, it's kind of our responsibility to be the leaders in the closest we can get to our personal coherence. Meaning, fearlessly following what lights us up without trying to make sense of it. Courageously following the thing that is begging us to be created. The simple reminder that, like, never give up on something you think about every day. I don't know, if I have like 350 voice memos of lyrics and melodies and an equal amount of like notes full of endless lyrics, it doesn't matter what it's for. I don't need to like be a career songwriter. Like, there's something that needs to come out. Why did I decide that wasn't for me or okay? Why did I decide that's something other people are allowed to do but I'm not? And again, like, I'm not saying as a career. What if that's something I do for myself? What if that's how I process the world and the things I've moved through? And what if that's the way my body and mind and soul and the divine want to process it with me? I just feel in a really intense personal transition where I really, really deeply feel in a bridge moment where I'm slowly clawing myself out from the ocean floor that I've spoken openly about visiting for quite a long time. And I still visit there. And it's unexpected when I blip back down there. I'm in this like really interesting bridge moment where I know with intense clarity that this time next year looks so different in so many ways. Like, I'm just about to let it rip and like be seen by whatever 5 people see this and like put it out. I'm about to start my in-person sessions here in Nashville, about to commit to making a project of songs, and it's just a lot moving and opening my heart and healing and creating the big, beautiful, loving, kind, cool, creative life and community I've always dreamed of. There's true wackadoodle clarity when you are healing from a really, really hard season of life. It can be a little disorienting. Like, I keep joking with friends that I'm having like That's So Raven flashes of like, wait a second, like, how did I forget that moment? Or how did I not understand like what that interaction meant like 10 years ago? Or like, yeah, so many wild things. And also bad things. Like, how did I not realize that this was not okay? Like, even at all. But we press on. So, if you have felt the vulnerability of your literal brain changing as you heal, I feel you and I see you. If you are walking this bridge of being kind of like halfway out of your old life and still kind of like halfway distance from this new beautiful one, like seeing it on the horizon, obviously no like in destination, but it does feel like a true timeline jump, for lack of a better word. I can't stop saying that lately. No, you're not alone. And it's like, it's not bad. And it's not like not good. It's a bridge. It's a strange in between. And I think the reframe is keeping it exciting, leaning into discomfort, leaning into the courage, just like that incredible gal said. It's like, you do not have a creative block, you have a lack of courage. Like, you know the thing that you want to do, you just like don't have the courage to do it. And I'm pretty sure you could say that to most people and they would be thinking of something. I'm glad I spoke mine out loud, which really feels insanely vulnerable to do. Who knows why? I think I'm just learning, as cheesy as it is, for the first time in my life, that I'm allowed to take up space. I'm allowed to be seen. I'm allowed to like pursue the things I love with that being the only credential for them. Because that's what every other fucking person has done. I have been observing for my whole life, okay? My mom told me once that, I think when I was really little, my grandmother said something to my mom like, oh, is she really shy? Or she said something like, she seems like sad, like when I was a toddler. And my mom was like, she is not sad. She is observing everything, okay? And this is what I've observed specifically in the last 10 years, which is that the literal only difference between me or you and anyone that has exactly what you want, or is like doing what you want, creating what you want, showing up the way you want in the world, is the confidence to do it. I've heard shit songs, okay? Shit. Like lyrics I don't think are good. But it's so beautiful, and I can't judge that because like the beauty in itself is having the courage to create it. Like, how cool. How beautiful. Like, I don't even mean that in an ugly way. Like, genuinely part of the soup of the beauty of creation is like witnessing someone in their courage to stand in it. Like, that is so much of it. It might be all of it. I seriously think the distinguishing factor between someone successful in anything you want to do is just that they like did it and allowed themselves to be there and go for it and like take that on as their identity. Like, they're not on the sidelines observing, they're doing it. We should all just do it, because we're not here for a long time, but we can make it a good time. And that is cheesy, but it's also very, very true. I'm looking at something on my bulletin board, and it's this postcard from a store in town that I love. Shout out Green Ray. And it says, "Dear Diary, here's my chance. Today I am in awe." And I keep it there as a reminder. And it just seems appropriate for exactly what we're talking about. I think every day should be, "Dear Diary, here's my chance. Today I am in awe." Be in awe. Be free. Create. Own it. Have courage. We're all gonna die.